Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. Today, I'm going to be giving you a step-by-step alternative method to removing late payments from your credit report in 2026. If you saw my previous video, I showed you how to correct late payments when you have inaccuracies across all three bureaus. Now, again, this will be an update to that method. If you don't have any inaccuracies on your credit report, this will show you how you can still get late payments removed. Now, if you want to see my previous video, I'm going to link that right here. Just like our video from before, this is not going to require you to call. It will not require you to send a goodwill letter. This will be, once again, a documentation-based approach that will focus on inaccurate reporting, but instead of it just being what you can see on your credit report, it will be verification, because that is the other thing that creditors need to uphold per the FCRA. And before we begin, just some disclosures here. I'm not your financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice. This is educational content based on consumer rights, consumer reporting rules, and dispute procedures. I will not do this for any payment. Please do not contact me or ask me. This is not a credit repair channel, and I will never do this for money. I just have to keep saying that, because anytime I make these videos, while they do work and they do get a lot of exposure, and I'm happy that they help a lot of people, I need to make that distinction. This is not credit repair from me. I have no services. This is do it yourself. It is in your hands. And just like our previous video, we are going to be submitting this dispute through the CFPB, because the CFPB is open at this time. If you don't want to submit this through the CFPB, then you can send a letter certified in the mail. All of the procedures that we're going to follow in this video will be per the FCRA. So it does not matter how old this video gets. It will work as long as the FCRA does not change. If that does not change, this will still always work. If you cannot send it through the CFPB, mail a letter certified. That will be your alternative mode of sending a dispute. I'm also going to follow up this video with a few more late payment examples that I have not done before, so keep a lookout for that. I'll also compile everything into one compilation once I have all of the videos out. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, before we begin talking about how you're going to dispute this, we need to talk about where you're looking at your report. Now, my first recommendation is annualcreditreport.com. This is the only source authorized by federal law, and you can receive all three of your credit reports for free. At the time of recording this video, you can pull the reports once per week. If that does change, then just keep in mind this may be dated. Now, my other second alternative would be rising.com. You can start a free trial for $1. That's going to be for 7 days. The link will be down in the description. The reason I like Rising is because it provides you with a tri-merged credit report, and that combines all of your credit information from all three major credit bureaus in one place. It makes it very easy to review your accounts and to actually dispute this information. You'll also get real-time updates on your disputes, and you'll be notified when these late payments are removed. If you go the other route with Annual Credit Report, it will be kind of hard to gauge when updates do happen, so Rising will come in handy. Now, for this particular method that we're looking at, in all honesty, you can just use a one bureau report strategy. All three of them do not have to be combined, but once again, it does help later on. As our previous method that we used, you can fall back on that in order for this method to work, and I'll get into that next. So currently we are looking at an example from a Capital One account that is old. This is from 2022. Now, as you can see on this account, I have 4 consecutive late payments: 30, 60, 90, and 120. Now, in the scenario that we're looking at, all three credit bureaus should have this exact same information. It should be whatever the account is with the exact same late payments. There should be no discrepancies between them. If you do have a discrepancy, then you want to check out my previous video first. Now, if you're looking at this account, you need a screenshot just like this, where it shows the account name, the account number, balance, everything. You want it to have all the information. And, you know, in all fairness, you really could just send one screenshot. Again, if all the information is the same, it doesn't really matter. So by now you should have a copy of your credit report, either from rising.com or annualcreditreport.com. We should be able to look at the account and we should see that it has consecutive late payments that look similar to this. We are going to screenshot that, and then we're going to talk about the verbiage that you need to send in order to dispute this account. account through the CFPB. But again, you can just copy the same text, put it in your own words, and send it in a letter and just mail that out certified if for whatever reason you can't send it through the CFPB. Now, before we go to the verbiage, I'm going to pause right here as I've been doing in the previous videos. Everything that we're going to discuss is going to be coming from the FCRA. Now, the reason why this is very important is because this is federal law that protects your consumer rights from inaccurate, unfair, or intrusive credit reporting. It also regulates how consumer reporting agencies collect, use, and share consumer information. Now, this is the foundation of your rights. Now, right now, we're not really disputing that the information is inaccurate, right? What we are going to dispute is how is the information verifiable? And I got that from the FCRA. So the core idea, like I said before, is very simple. Consumer reporting agencies have to uphold accurate reports as accurate as humanly possible, but they also need to be able to verify that the information is correct. They have an obligation to investigate and correct any information if they do not have supported verification. And that's the part that a lot of people kind of miss. You're not disputing whether or not this information is in fact accurate. It might be accurate, but they have to be able to prove that to you. That is exactly what we're going to do here in order to get these late payments updated. Because the burden of proof, believe it or not, is not on you. It is on the consumer reporting agency or the creditor. They have to prove that this information is verifiable. It is your job to identify what's not verifiable and to provide a reasonable basis for what you believe is inaccurate. And again, in this specific method, we are going to be talking about the information that can't be verified on these late payments. So here is the verbiage that we're going to be using. Now, I recommend that you copy this and then maybe try to change the words up a bit. You can literally screenshot this, copy and paste it, put it into ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, just tell it to rephrase this, and then it'll make some new verbiage for you. And then even after that, because if everybody else is doing it, you might want to go ahead and just change a few things here and there. All right. Now let's talk about round one. For round one, we're going to send this dispute through the CFPB, and it states, I recently viewed my credit report and noticed an account that was not reporting accurately. I had 2 late payments on the account and they were in fact paid on time. Now in this verbiage, I said 2. My recommendation is to do 1 at a time. Now, again, I know it says 2, but you can modify this. I just want to point that out right now because I see a lot more changes that come from disputing 1 late payment at a time instead of trying to dispute 2 at a time. And yes, if the information is the same between all 3 bureaus, you will be sending individual disputes. But the great thing about the CFPB, you can actually send all 3 simultaneously. So literally you send 1 dispute. And again, if we're disputing the same thing across 3 bureaus, you can actually send it to all 3 and just send 1, and it'll create 3 different complaints for you. So you don't have to do this 3 separate times. All right, now let's continue. Again, I know it says that I have 2 late payments, but you could put that I have 1 late payment on an account that was in fact paid on time. The consumer reporting agencies need to report all information with complete accuracy. This account has not been late on payments. I've attached a copy of my report to this complaint of the following date. Now you would then insert the date in the month. Now here is my recommendation. Pick the first date that shows 30 days late, and I'm going to tell you why that's so important. Let's say that you had a late payment in the first 30 days of, let's say, January of 2025, something like that, right? You would then say, hey, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, because again, this will go to all 3. This 30-day late payment in January is not accurate. You would send this verbiage. Here's the month and the date. I want you to investigate the account and then update this payment to actually paid on time. Now, in a best case scenario, let's just say even one of them gets updated. Let's say Experian gets updated in January of 2025. Now that late payment is updated, right? It's going to show paid on time for Experian, late on TransUnion, late on Equifax. You can now watch my previous video where it actually shows you how to dispute these when they're inaccurate. Now you can send your Experian report to TransUnion and Equifax and say, hey, TransUnion, hey, Equifax, Experian shows my account is paid on time, but you're reporting it 30 days late. They're right, you're wrong. If the information is coming from the same source, it should be the same. Please update this to paid on time. Now, every single month in January for all three bureaus will show paid on time. And again, you only need this to work for one single account. It only has to work for one. You can fall back on the previous method. Now you got all three of them changed. That would be awesome. Now, let's say that after you did round one for all three, nothing got changed. That's when you would fall onto round two verbiage. So again, if you signed up for rising.com, you'll be notified when the investigation is complete. Once the investigation is complete and you see all the information is the same, nothing got updated, you would then send round two. I am now requesting proof of the previous investigation. I am asking that you send your method of investigation along with all the records of who you spoke with, the business address, name, phone number, as well as documentation that proves this account was late. If you cannot provide me with this information in 15 days, update the account to paid, never late, and send me a copy of my updated credit report. I really want to explain why this is important. Once again, if they investigated the account, which normally they don't actually have an investigation, their procedural investigation literally is usually just them verifying that the account is yours. They'll say, yes, the information is accurate. When you're asking for specific documentation, you are now forcing them to have to actually reach out to the creditor and verify this information. And a lot of times the reason why this gets updated is because they don't get a response, or they won't get a response in a sufficient amount of time. Now, if they don't get a response, by default, you'll automatically get that report updated. Once it's updated to paid on time, again, you fall back to our previous method, and then slowly but surely you update every late payment until the account is paid on time for every single late payment that you have, which will then make the account completely positive, which will definitely increase your credit score overall, because late payments account for 35% of your overall credit score. Now, I also want to give you another perspective. Let's kind of go back to round one just for one moment. So let's say that you actually did get your report updated. I just want to give you like an additional dispute reason that you can actually use. Let's say that now one of your accounts got updated to, it was 30 days late. Now it's paid on time, but now it shows 60, 90, 120 in our example. Now, if your report was actually paid on time and now it's showing 60 days late, that's inaccurate reporting. How did it go from being paid on time to 60 days late to 90 to 120? That's inaccurate. And then you can actually dispute the late payment that way and get an update. So as you can see, if we work our way backwards, right, with that 30-day and we update that one, it gives us plenty of different reasons that we can use for the account either being inaccurate or asking for them to prove it. That's really your two methods of getting this updated. Either you're disputing inaccuracy or you're disputing that they need to prove that this is in fact yours, because that is your right as a consumer to request that investigation and to request proof. And if they cannot provide you with proof, it needs to be updated. Now, if you do have to go past round two, I actually will be making another video on that where there will be some new methods that I have seen work that I will present to you. But for this video, let's say that you have to go past round two because you tried this, it still wasn't updated. You need to request more specific documentation. Ask them for a transcript of the conversation between them and the original creditor. You guys have to understand that the more specific the piece of information you ask them to present you, the more unlikely it is they will be able to get that information. And if they can't get that information, then you will get an update by default. That is why, when it comes to late payments, we can't always say that it will work out the exact same way, because it depends on the creditor. It depends on how busy the bureaus are. There are factors that are out of your control, which is why I tell people all the time when it comes to late payments and charge-offs, just stay on top of it. You have to just keep going. The more that you dispute, the more likely it is you will get the update. However, you can only dispute once the bureau responds. If you send multiple disputes before a bureau actually responded, it will be thrown out as frivolous, and then you'll have to start over from round one and go to the beginning. So my recommendation is take it one at a time, for one late payment at a time, right? And then wait for a response, get the response. And then after that, send your next one. Take your time. Usually they respond like 7 to 10 days. So, in actuality, in about like a month, you'd have have an opportunity to send this probably 4 times or even 3 times. That's going to be like the usual cadence. All right, now we are going to go over to the CFPB. I'm going to show you how to send this dispute for round 1. Now you will need a couple of things. 1, you will need your driver's license. Your driver's license that you have should be the updated address that matches the address on your credit report, and hopefully it matches the address associated with this account. If it does not, please update all that information. I have released a video on personal information, or at least it should have come out by the time you're watching this video. Secondly, you will need your social security card. Take a picture of it, scan it, make a copy of it, but you will need that. And third, you will need a proof of residency. That should match your driver's license, everything else. It should match the address on your credit report. It's very important that all this information matches. And then the very last thing that you will need is a picture of the report, which again, rising.com, annualcreditreport.com. These are all the documents that you would need. So if you haven't, gather all of those documents. You could put them in a folder that says disputes. And then we're going to take our verbiage for round 1 and we are going to go over to the CFPB. Currently, we are on the CFPB website, that is consumerfinance.gov. The first thing that you'll do is scroll down to the bottom and then you'll select start a new complaint. Now, credit and consumer disputing report compliance notice. And it says this consumer complaint portal is designed to help consumers, including resolve complaints against credit reporting agencies. Now let's click on proceed, and then let's click on proceed, and then we'll click on I agree. So you'll fill this out if you don't have an account, or if you do have an account, you'll select already submitted a complaint or created your account. If you click on that option, then you'll be brought here, sign in with your email and your password, and then we'll submit our complaint. All right, so when you first log in, you'll hit that top blue button, and that's going to be in the right-hand corner. It'll say submit a complaint. You'll be brought here to step 1, and then you're going to select what is the complaint about. You're going to select credit reporting or other personal consumer report. And then you'll select credit reporting, and then you'll click on next. Next, you'll select your problem. Now, this is going to be incorrect information on your report. So after you select the information incorrect on your report, then you can select now for this one, it can be various like statuses, but what I like to do now is account status incorrect, showing open account as closed, showing delinquent account when it's not, right? Because it's a late payment. And have you already tried to fix this problem with the company? Yes. Did you request information from the company? Yes. And then it's going to be statement, or you could put a statement, a document, a transcript, like whatever you're asking for them, but a statement with a signature from the creditor, let's just say that, proving I was late, something like that, right? And then did the company provide this information? The answer is no. And then you'll click on next. Now, again, as you guys can see, you have a general idea of what I'm talking about. You don't have to put exactly what I put there. Just make it somehow like make it just for you. Just try to make it somewhat unique. Now I'm going to copy the verbiage that I already had from round 1, and we already discussed this. We're going to enter this in here. Do not forget, you will need to add the account name and the account number as it appears on your credit report. Going back to our previous example, remember it had all the X's. That is the full account number. You want to add that. You want to add the date. You always want to put the year and the month. All right, so just make sure that you're doing that all properly here. And then for this one, what would be a fair resolution? You could put the same thing, but I'm just going to put update the account to paid on time. And you could put for the month in, for your month and whatever the year was. So update the account to paid on time for the month and the year. All right. And then you're going to attach your documents. Again, driver's license, a copy of the social security card. You're going to also attach your proof of residency, and then you're going to attach a picture of the actual report, right, for this account. And then you're going to click on next. Now, hopefully this kind of goes without saying, but do not try to dispute 5 accounts for 1 late payment at the same time. Please don't do that. That will get it thrown out as frivolous for sure. That is just a waste of time. You're going to be sending this for 1 account with either 1 late payment or at most 2 late payments. I recommend one. Just take your time. Now, when we do this, since all the information is the same, remember, nothing should be different. We're going to send this to all 3 bureaus. So we are going to be sending this to Experian, and then it's going to ask you to fill out this portion. You enter the last 4 of your social, you enter your date of birth, and then you'll also be entering your name as it appears on your credit report. And if you have any confusion about that, put your name as it appears on your driver's license. All right, so do you want to complain about another company? Yes, we want to also do that. And then we'll send that to TransUnion. And then the first one is fine. And then have you already tried to? Yes. And remember what we said, a statement. And again, I'm just freestyling here. I just want to show you, like, you don't have to copy exactly what I'm sending. The words aren't magic. The point is that you're requesting a document that proves something. So a statement proving I was late with a signature from the creditor. I'm just putting the signature just because it requires them to do something more than just sending you a bill. You know, it requires more than that. Now, did the company provide this information? No. Now, we need this information to help the company find you in the system. And again, same exact thing, guys. Last 4 of the social, your date of birth, and then you're going to enter your name as it appears on your credit report. And again, any confusion, same as your license. Last company, we're going to hit yes. We're going to put Equifax for our last company. And first one that comes up is completely fine. Have you already tried to fix this problem with the company? Yes. Statement proving late. We already know. Did the company provide this information? The answer is no. And then we're going to enter all of our information that they'll need to verify us. So we should be all done now. Now, this is submitting for one single account with one single late payment, but we can send it to all 3 bureaus simultaneously. Now, let's say that you'd like to do round 1 for 5 different accounts. You would then send round 1 5 times through the CFPB, but it will send 3 different complaints. Now, once again, that is if the information is consistent across all 3 bureaus. All right. So you would end up sending for 5 accounts. You'll see 3 complaints that were created for each one because they're sending to all 3 bureaus. So at worst case, it's not like you have to do this like one at a time for each bureau, because that would require you to do it like what, 20 times if you have 5 accounts. Instead, you have to only do it 5 times, you know, because you send it to all 3. Then you would click on next. All right. And the last thing I'm going to show you here is that you need to click on myself. You do not want to submit this on anyone's behalf. I highly recommend that you don't do that. If you do, it'll probably get thrown out as frivolous. Once again, all of this is in the FCRA. If you have any questions, it lets you know that submitting information on someone's behalf, likely it will get thrown out. So if anyone is doing this for you, probably will never see any results anyway. So you'd be wasting your time, effort, and hopefully you're not wasting money. Now, once you click on myself, you will then get a review. The review just basically just shows all the information that we just put in. Review it, make sure it's all correct. If it is, you'll be able to submit this, and then you are done. Then you will wait for a response. Again, you may get a letter in the mail, or if you're on rising.com, if you have an account with them, then you'll get an alert when this is updated. All right, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you do have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I will say though, if you look at previous comments and previous videos, you'll probably find your answer. Since I've started my channel, this has grown, you know, very, very greatly. So it is harder and harder to answer questions. I try to do it the best that I can, but you know, I highly recommend reviewing old comments before adding new ones, because more than likely your question will probably get answered. Now, I will be doing another video. I might do 2 or 3 more late payment videos, because I do have a few different methods that I have seen work. I want to show you a few alternatives that will then be past round 2, like 3, 4, and beyond that, some other things that you can try that may work. And then once again, I'll put this all into a compilation, so that way you can start with the first one or move into the second one. And then if the second one does work, then you can go back to the first one, because again, they kind of work in tandem. But if not, I'll have a 3rd, 4th, maybe even a 5th option for you, but we will see. If you did get any updates, please put that in the comments below. Let people know which method worked for you. The more that you do that, the more likely someone else can hopefully repeat those same steps in order to see the same results. And again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do really appreciate you watching, and you have a wonderful day.